Hey everybody, it's Django. This is the Conflict Easter egg how-to video. I'm just going to be streaming it. It's probably going to be very loosely edited. But anyway, the way I like to start always is to just blow up the entire chateau. It makes visibility much easier and makes it you're able to navigate much easier. You can leave all the walls intact, you can blow them up, but I highly recommend that you leave this one intact, because especially on bright sunny servers, this dance floor here will have this light on here, and then it's kind of hard to see the tiles. But first we're going to start with trying to turn on the candles. So I'm going to start over here with candle 1. You can find all the information on the Discord and on the wiki for what candles are which, but this is candle 1, and I hit the base one time. So I see that candle 2 is illuminated. And running through here, that is the only candle that's illuminated. So I'm going to go on the solver, and I'm going to hit 2 in ID number 1. Then I'm going to come back to candle 1, interact with the base again, see which ones are on. And it looks like we have number 6 right there. And just number 6 is on, so I'm going to put that in ID number 2. And come back to candle 1 once again, hit number 1. I'm just looking for which ones are on. So we got number 5 in this corner, we have number 6 right here, and number 7. Those are all illuminated, so I'm going to enter 5, 6, 7 into ID number 3. And I'm going to go back to candle 1 again, press the base, so we have number 1, which is illuminated. Number 5, back in this corner, is illuminated. And number 7 is illuminated. So 1, 5, 7 in ID number 4. Okay, interact with the candle again. Number 1 is illuminated. Number 3 right there. Number 4, number 5 in the back corner. And number 7. So I'm going to enter in 1. Let's see, it was 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Let me just double check. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. Alright, and that goes in ID number 5. Interact with candle 1 again, and just note down which ones are on. So we have 3, 5, and 7. So ID number 6, 3, 5, 7. And then this is our last ID here. Go to candle 1, interact with the base. Number 5 is illuminated, and just number 5. So in ID 7 we get 5, and I click solve, and the solution is 2, 5, 5. So I'm going to go over to candle 2 and interact with the base one time. I'm going to go all the way to the other side of the chateau. And interact with candle 5 1, 2 times. Should make the sound, and all the candles should be illuminated. Now at this point, the sandbags should spawn. If you're going to submit pictures to the Discord, please blow up this statue here like that, leaving only this destroyed base. Take one photo like this, one photo like this, one photo like this, and one photo like this. And be sure that when you're taking these photos, if you have your weapon up, it's not blocking a sandbag. That way we can see all of them. Keep your weapon nice and low, have a good FOV, and be sure you can see the sandbags in the corners if they're in the corners. And when you submit these pictures, there should be 12 sandbags visible for the Easter egg. But if these sandbags do not spawn here, what you want to do is run about 75 to 100 meters away from the chateau. The way I like to do it is I run straight through the chateau, and as soon as I cross this threshold right here, that should be far enough, and then I just run back, and the sandbag should be spawned in at that point. So now this is where I'm going to map the sandbags. Either you can map them yourself using the tools we have on the wiki and on the Discord, or you could submit the 4 screenshots, as I said, and we'll map them for you. So please bear with me while I map these out. Alright, and that's all 12 mapped out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first outline the dance floor and then I'm going to start illuminating the tiles. I like to go around the perimeter like this. And just create a simple little outline. You can reference where the edges are off of the corners here. This full tile is the first square that's within the Dancefloor 8x8 grid. Same with this wall. Then I count it out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, it should be like the first full tile here. Alright, then that creates my 8x8 grid. So now what I'm doing here is I'm entering coordinate pairs. So you can find on the wiki all these pillars have different numbers associated with them. This one standardly is noted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all the way down to the end. And then from that corner 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 is that one there. So I'm going to start by putting in my first coordinate pair of 1, 2. Now we're going to go check and see if that illuminator tile, and it did. So this here is 1, 2. I'm going to note that down on my spreadsheet, letting me know that this one is 1, 2. And I also like to shoot it to just help keep track of which one it is, and it's a white tile. So now I'm going to enter in 1, 3. So we already did 2, we'll skip past it and go to 1, 3. And this is 1, 3 here, so now I'm going to write down, let's see here. So this row right here, this row has a Y value of 1, because this is the bottom of the grid, that's the top, left, right. So the Y value right here I'm going to write down is 1. This entire row right here is 1. And as we said before, this one was 1, 2. So this row here is 1, this column here is 2 to give us this coordinate pair. So I'll write that down in my notes as 2. And then over here, this is 1, 3 that gave us this, so we know this row is 1, and this column is 3. I'm going to write that down in my notes as well. And basically what we're going to do in doing this is light up this entire row right here. So I'm going to come back to this square 1, and interact, and then 4 is our next pair. And that column right here is 4, the row again is 1. Writing that down in my notes. Then I go back over to 1. And then I'm going to do 5. And that also illuminated 1. So I'm going to write that column down in my notes as 5. So right now in my notes I have 1 as this row, then I have 3, then excuse me, this row is 1, this column is 4, this column is 5, this column is 3, and this column is 2. So I'm going to continue doing this. 1 and 6. And this did not illuminate a coordinate pair. So what that means is that 1 and 6 are both rows. So if I select 1 and then say 6 is down here, I say 1, 6, that's just going to give me 2 rows. So now the set is primed to 6 something. So if I were to enter 6 and then a column, it would give me a coordinate at that position. So I'll actually do that right now, and since this is the 4 column, it's primed as 6, so it'll be 6, 4. The very top row is going to be our 6 row, but that's irrelevant to being able to figure it out. That's just so you can understand that whatever number is the most recent number without giving an input is what is primed to that coordinate pair. So I'm going to go back and I'm just going to shut that off real quick. 4, and 6. And 4 6 is shut off. So now I'm going to continue figuring out this row of 1, 7. And 7, once again, did not illuminate a tile, so that means 7 is another row instead of a column. So we're going to continue. We're going to input 1. And 8. So that did illuminate a tile. So we're going to write that row, or that column down as 8. So this right here is where I'm writing 8. And come back over to 1. We're going to go all the way down to the very far corner for 9, which you can associate any of these squares as whatever number. This is just what's standard practice. So this is 9. And then this column right there would be 9. I go back to 1, and then 10. So that's 110. So right here is going to be 10. So now I'm inputting 111. Alright, and that did not give us a value. Priming it back to 1, since it was primed to 11. And 12. Alright. Does not give us a value, so I'm going to go prime it again for 1, since it's currently primed to 12. So now it's primed to 1. And then I will have inputted 113. Alright, and that did give us a value. So that gives us our 1's row, so now we know all of the columns. So using those values, we're going to then figure out the rows. So I'm going to select, let's see here, I'm going to select 5 as my value because there are 5 squares on that column that need to be illuminated. So we're going to start priming it with 5. And then the next value we did not use. So I've used 1, I've used 2, I used 3, 4, 5, but I did not use 6. So I'm going to enter 5, 6. And this is guaranteed to give us a value, which, as we found out earlier, it's the top one. And we're going to go back. We're going to prime with 5 as our first coordinate. And then I did not use 7 yet, so I'm going to input 7. Alright, this one here is 7, so I'm going to write 7 right there. Going to enter 5. And then the next value I haven't used would be 11. Is this making sense so far, chat? In case I haven't mentioned it already, if you're watching this video in the future, I originally streamed this on Twitch, so I do have a live chat going. So since this illuminated, going to denote as 11 right there. So we go back to 5. Then the next value I didn't use is 12. And if you find it confusing, trying to find the values you didn't already use, you can just go through and go 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6. Actually, 5, 5 wouldn't be a value, but you can go through and just enter it that way if it's less confusing to you. I'm going to put 12 down for this one here. Then we're going to do 5. We already used 13, so I'm going to go to 14. So 14 is on the very bottom, so I'm going to write on my notes right there is 14. Then we're going to enter 5 and 15. And then that gives us that one. And then you don't have to input this one because we know it's 16 since it's the last possible combination. But if you want to confirm, you can just enter 516 and it should illuminate that tile if you've done it correctly. Alright, so yep, that is 516. Alright, so I'm going to write down in my notes which tiles are illuminated that have to be illuminated, and then just take mental note of which ones I should shut off. So it looks like in terms of the 1's row, I have 1, 5 illuminated as it should be. I have 1, 10 illuminated as it should be. And then for the 5 column, I have 5, 6, 5, 1 as I said already, 5, 12, 5, 16, and 5, 14. So I'm going to go through and shut off the ones I don't need on, and we're going to start just at the top with the 1's row. So I don't need 1, 2. So I'm going to shut that off. And in between each one, you can come over here and check and be sure it's shutting off the correct one, which it was supposed to be this one. In this example, at least. Every time you load into a server will be a unique example. And I don't need 1, 3 on. I don't need 1, 4 on. I want to leave 1, 5 on, but I do want to shut off 5, 8 is our next value. And I'm actually going to go out of order here. We're going to prime it first with 9, since nothing is currently primed, and we're going to go back to 1 and enter in 9, 1, because 9, 1 is the same thing as 1, 9. You're just entering your X and Y values backwards. So just like that, I will have shut it off. Yep, this tile right here is 1, 9 or 9, 1. And then 1, 13. So I can do that in any order, so I'm just going to choose to do 13 since I'm already here. And 1. 13, 1, same as 1, 13. And that shut off the tiles we needed. So we need this one illuminated, and we need this one illuminated for our sandbag grid. Now I'm going to go through and shut off the 5 values. So let's see, first I need 5, 7 disabled. And then I need, let's see, 5, 11. And then I need 5, 15. And since I'm already on this side, I'm just going to go to 15 since nothing is currently primed. Because 15, 5 is the same as 5, 15. So I'm going to enter in 15, 5. And that leaves the 5 lights on that we need to stay on and shuts off the incorrect ones. Alright, so now I have 6 sandbags left I need to illuminate, and since I have all of the columns figured out and all of the rows figured out, I can just enter in those coordinate pairs in any order and it will illuminate those values. So first I'm going to do 4, 7, which for reference 4, 7 should be this tile right here, this white tile. So that's 4 and 7. It illuminates that tile, as I said. Then I'm going to do 4 and 14. Yep, so 414 is illuminated. Then we're going to do 713. Seven. And 13. And then we are going to do, let's see here, let's do 10 and 12. And again, doesn't matter the order, so we'll do 12 and then 10. Then we're going to do 10 and 15. And let me just double check my grid real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 of 12 illuminated, so my last one is right here. That is 3, 7. So I'm going to run over here and do 3. And then before I do 7, I must note this. Whoever presses the final tile, which correctly illuminates the grid, is the only person who will get the dog tag. So if I'm the one who needs the conflict dog tag, I'm going to come over to this tile here and input it, and then it should drop smoke. Just like that. Should play some funny monster noises, and that's the conflict Easter egg. It's really quite a complex Easter egg, but as long as you follow the steps closely and carefully, it's not too hard to understand. I hope you were able to figure out how to do your conflict Easter egg by watching this stream or this video in future. This has been 30 minutes with Django. Wish you the best of luck, and happy hunting.